My name is Emily Carter, and I am 27 years old. If you ask my parents, they would say I'm the problem child, the one who always caused trouble. But that's not true. The truth is, I was the one holding our family together and they never even knew it. I worked hard every day to help pay for our home, my parents' bills, and my younger sister's expensive school tuition. I never complained. I never asked for anything in return. I just wanted my family to be happy. But that all changed the day my sister stole $5,000 and blamed it on me. It was a Saturday morning when my mom stormed into my room, her face red with anger. "Emily, where's the money?" she yelled. I sat up, confused. "What money?" My dad walked in behind her, his arms crossed. "Don't play dumb. Your sister said you took it. We had $5,000 saved and now it's gone." My heart sank. "What? I didn't take anything. Why would I steal from my own family?" Then my younger sister, Lily, peeked into the room, tears in her eyes. She was only 20, but she had always been the favorite. My parents believed every word she said, no matter what. "I'm so sorry, Mom," she sniffled. "I saw Emily in your room last night. I thought maybe she just borrowed the money, but now it's all gone." I stared at her in shock. She was lying, and she was good at it. "Are you serious right now, Lily?" I said, standing up. "I never touched that money, and you know it." My mom didn't care. She was already convinced. "We work so hard, and this is how you repay us? Stealing from your own family." I didn't. "Enough," my dad interrupted. His voice was cold. "We can't have a thief living under our roof. Pack your things and leave." I felt like the air had been knocked out of me. "You're kicking me out?" "You made your choice," he said. Tears burned my eyes, but I refused to cry. I looked at Lily, expecting her to confess, to say something. But she just wiped her fake tears and looked away. I had no choice. I packed my bags, took one last look at the house I had spent years paying for, and walked out. They had no idea what they had just done. And soon, they were going to regret it. I walked out of the house with nothing but a small suitcase and my purse. The door slammed behind me, and for the first time in my life, I was alone. I had no home, no family, no idea what to do next. As I stood on the sidewalk, my phone buzzed in my pocket. A message from the bank. Automatic payment of $1,250 processed. Mortgage payment successful. I stared at the screen, my hands shaking. They just kicked out the person paying for their house. For years, I had secretly covered my parents' bills because they were always struggling. They never knew how bad things were because I took care of it. The rent, utilities, groceries, even Lily's fancy private school. I paid for everything. And now? Now I was done. I took a deep breath, pulled up my banking app, and canceled every automatic payment linked to their house, their bills, and Lily's school. No more rent. No more utilities. No more tuition. If they wanted to call me a thief, let them figure out how to survive without me. It didn't take long for reality to hit them. Just 2 weeks later, my mom called. I let it ring. Then came a text. "Mom, Emily, why is the electricity off? Call me." I smirked. A few minutes later, another text. "Mom, the mortgage wasn't paid this month. The bank is calling us. Did you do something?" Did I do something? Oh, the irony. I ignored her. But then I got a message from Lily. "Lily, you're such a child. I know you're mad, but don't punish Mom and Dad. Just pay the bills and stop being petty." I laughed out loud. She really thought I would keep paying after what they did? For the first time in years, I felt free. I had moved into a small apartment and started focusing on myself. I picked up a second job, saved my money, and slowly started rebuilding my life. Meanwhile, my parents were falling apart. The mortgage went unpaid for 2 months. The electricity and water were shut off. Lily was kicked out of school because her tuition hadn't been paid. And then the best message arrived. "Dad, we need to talk." I stared at my phone, debating whether to reply. They finally needed me, but after what they had done, I wasn't sure I cared. I sat on my couch, staring at my phone. "Dad, we need to talk." For a split second, I considered replying. Maybe they finally realized how unfair they had been. Maybe they were ready to apologize. But then I remembered. I remembered how quickly they threw me out without a second thought. How they didn't even listen to me. How they let Lily, the real thief, walk free while I was left with nothing. So I did what I should have done a long time ago. I blocked his number. A few minutes later, my phone buzzed again. This time it was an unknown number. Mom. Emily, please pick up. Your father and I are struggling. The bank is threatening to take the house. I sighed. Of course, they only cared now that they were suffering. I didn't reply. And then Lily sent me another text. Lily, are you serious? You're ruining everything. Mom and Dad are freaking out. Just send the money so we can fix this. I couldn't help but laugh. Send the money? Like I was their personal ATM? Like nothing had happened? I typed a simple response. Me. Not my problem. And then I blocked her too. Over the next few weeks, I kept hearing from distant relatives. My aunt called, my uncle texted. Everyone suddenly wanted to talk. Apparently, after I stopped paying, everything spiraled out of control. My parents missed 3 mortgage payments, and the bank had started the foreclosure process. Their electricity and water were still off, forcing them to stay at a motel because they couldn't survive without basic utilities. Lily was furious because she had to withdraw from school and lost all the privileges she was used to. My dad had to pick up a second job to try and catch up on payments, but it wasn't enough. It was karma working in real time. One night, as I was scrolling through my phone, I saw something that made me pause. A GoFundMe page. My parents had started asking for donations online, claiming they were going through a tough time and needed help keeping their home. I clicked the link, and what I read made my blood boil. Our daughter betrayed us and left us struggling. She refuses to help us, even though we raised her with love and care. We are at risk of losing everything. Please help. Betrayed them? I wanted to scream. After everything I did for them, after they threw me away like garbage, they were playing the victims? I wasn't going to let that slide. I took screenshots of every bill I had paid over the years. The rent, the utilities, Lily's tuition, proof that I had been their provider all along. Then I left a comment on their GoFundMe. Emily Carter. Before you donate, know the truth. My parents kicked me out after my sister stole $5,000 and blamed me. They never knew I was the one paying their bills. Now that I'm gone, they're finally facing the reality of their actions. I owe them nothing. I hit post. Within hours, the fundraiser was flooded with comments. Wait, you kicked out the person who was paying for your house? So, you lied about your daughter? Nope, I'm not donating. This is karma. The donation stopped. My parents took the page down the next day. And just like that, their last hope was gone. A week later, there was a knock at my door. I looked through the peephole. It was my mother. I debated ignoring it, but curiosity got the best of me. I opened the door, arms crossed. She looked terrible. Bags under her eyes, clothes wrinkled, desperate. Emily, she started, her voice shaky. Please, just listen. I didn't say a word. She sighed. We made a mistake. We should have believed you. But we're about to lose the house, and your father is sick from all the stress. We just need a little help. I stared at her, completely numb. After all this time, all the pain, this was what it took for her to see me? You kicked me out with nothing, I said coldly. I had to build myself back up from scratch. I know, but... And you still would have kept using me if you hadn't found out the hard way. I cut in. You don't miss me. You miss my money. She looked down, guilty, but still expecting something. I shook my head. I don't owe you anything, I said. Tears filled her eyes, but I didn't care anymore. I shut the door in her face. That was the last time I ever saw my parents. A few months later, their house was officially foreclosed. They moved in with a distant relative. Lily tried to reach out once, but I ignored her. As for me, I got promoted at work. I moved into a better apartment. I built a life I was proud of on my own. For years, I let them use me. I thought family meant sacrifice, even when it hurt. But now I knew the truth. Sometimes, walking away isn't selfish. It's necessary. And I never looked back. It had been 2 years since I last saw my family. In that time, I had completely transformed my life. I landed a high-paying job, traveled to places I'd always dreamed of, and surrounded myself with people who actually cared about me. No more guilt. No more being used. One day, as I was scrolling through LinkedIn, I came across a familiar name. Lily Carter. Curious, I clicked on her profile. Her bio read, "Looking for job opportunities. Hardworking and motivated." I almost laughed out loud. Lily? Hardworking? That was a first. Then I saw her work history. She had no stable job for the past 2 years. She had bounced from one place to another, never lasting more than a few months. I checked her Facebook next. It was even better than I expected. Post after post about how life was unfair and how she was struggling to make ends meet. Complaints about having to pay bills, about how people wouldn't just help her out. Oh, how the tables had turned. I shook my head and closed my laptop. Not my problem. A few months later, I was out with friends at a nice restaurant, celebrating my promotion to senior manager. As I laughed and enjoyed my meal, I heard a voice I hadn't heard in years. "Emily." I turned around. It was Lily. She looked rough, messy hair, cheap clothes, dark circles under her eyes. She was carrying a tray, wearing the restaurant's uniform. She was a waitress. Now, there's nothing wrong with being a waitress. I had worked hard jobs too. But Lily? She had always looked down on people who worked in customer service. I could tell she hated being there. "Oh wow," she said, forcing a smile. "It's been so long. How have you been?" I could see the jealousy in her eyes as she glanced at my expensive outfit, the nice dinner, the company I was with. I smiled. "I've been great." She hesitated. "That's good." Then she took a deep breath. "Listen, Emily. I know we had our problems, but things have been really hard for me. If you could just lend me some money." I held up a hand. "Lily," I said calmly, "did you ever pay back the $5,000 you stole?" Her face turned pale. I don't have that kind of money." "Then I guess we're both out of luck." I picked up my wine glass, took a sip, and turned back to my friends, completely ignoring her. She stood there awkwardly for a few seconds before mumbling, "Enjoy your meal," and walking away. And just like that, I had my closure. Looking back, I don't regret a single thing. Cutting off my toxic family was the best decision I ever made. They made their choice. And now, they were living with the consequences. As for me, I was finally free. And it felt amazing.